What's up, guys? What of course I'll be doing today is breaking down and reviewing, as well as telling you how to get the exotic shotgun in Destiny called the Chaperone. This weapon can only be gotten through a long multi-step process issued by the shipwright called Jolly Holiday. You have to complete the main story and be Crucible rank 3 to get this quest, which I'll break down now. Step 1 in the quest is to get kills in the Crucible with the last word equipped. You don't have to get only the kills with the last word, just you have to have it equipped. You have to get to a goal of 100%. Normal kills count for 1%, headshots are 2. The unfortunate part is dying loses you 2%, and kill streaks lead to big bonuses, which is how you're going to get this done. The good news is that every other type of kill, for example, grenades, supers, special, and heavy kills, they all count as long as the last word's equipped. You know yourself best, but my advice is stick to clash or control or modes with enemies, or like teammates. Stay with your teammates. Stay around a flag you have, and you can pick off stragglers or people that aren't directly facing or trying to kill you, as well as waiting for heavy. One last point I should note, as much as it's extremely obvious, when you're low on health or outnumbered, just run away. This bounty is about keeping you alive at all costs. That extra 1% that you're going to gamble for is going to get you killed, and you're going to lose a percent regardless. And like I said earlier, if you want to complete this as fast as possible, build kill streaks with heavy. It will fly by as bonuses per kill increase past 5 kill streaks. I went from 20 to 50% because of a 10 plus kill streak, I remember. So that's by far the fastest way to do it. Just camp the heavy and wait it out. When you're done this, the next step is to purchase a generous donation from the Cryptarch, which is going to cost you 15,000 Glimmer. When you're done, head back to Amanda and she'll offer you step 3, which is to use a shotgun to kill enemies in the Crucible or high level minions of the darkness. Yellow bar enemies or majors only count in the mission if you're doing is heroic or 240 plus light, and it goes painfully slow at about like 0.3 or 0.5 per kill, so like it's half a kill per yellow, so it does go by slow. Fastest way to do it though by far is, because if you go back to the Crucible, it's 3% per shotgun kill and you don't lose a percentage per death. So load up Rumble with your favorite shotgun and just go nuts for a few rounds. By far the fastest way. Now when you're done that, the hardest part is you have to use a shotgun to kill each of the Shield brothers on a separate 290 Dreadnought strike. It does have matchmaking, and I joined a party of random people to get this done. Some notes for you to make it even easier. Not all damage needs to be with the shotgun, and you don't have to land the final hit on both of the brothers. Make sure you shoot both brothers with a shotgun and inflict a decent amount of damage on both during the match. And after you kill them, you should unlock it. It's not too bad as long as you have a good coordinated team and you damage both with a shotgun at some point. When you're done that, you're done the quest. Holiday will give you the gun at the next reset. Now I'm going to break down the gun and describe whether all that effort was worth it. Aesthetically, minus the double barrel, it actually on side profile looks like the Fourth Horseman, and it has a really cool reload animation and makes a crack the whip sound as you reload it. Statistically, the gun starts with a 290 base damage, which can be infused higher. It has a good fire rate at 35%. It has an impact rating of 40, a range of 26, a perfect stability rating of 100, and a reload percentage of 29. The magazine starts at 4 and can be buffed. On preliminary analysis, the impact range and stability all stand out as fantastic numbers, but the reload is a bit slow. That's the only one drawback. Of note and key to this weapon, it does not fire pellets, it fires slug rounds. In PvP, you have to get a headshot to kill in one shot or 2 body shots. Even if you're an inch away from the target, you will not kill it unless it's a headshot. It requires 2 if it's not a headshot. With regard to the skill tree, all Chaperones are the same because they're exotics. They all deal solar damage. You have an always active perk called the Chaperone, which makes the weapon fire a single precision slug and grants an agility boost. This means, of course, that if you miss, you're dead because there aren't several pellets to cause some damage. It's just a solid slug mass, but it does have the good fire rate. Additionally, as mentioned earlier, your range isn't significantly buffed to BF3 sniping like with a shotgun slug range as of yet, but it does have great range in comparison to other shotguns and gets significantly buffed with a perk called the Roadborne, which I'll get to in a minute. With regard to actual breaking down the skill tree, you have 3 options in terms of ballistics, which is linear compensator, which increases recoil but makes it more predictable, as well as buffing range and impact. Accurized Ballistics, which increases range and impact, but also the recoil. And finally, Field Choke, which does exactly the same as Accurized Ballistics. Linear Compensator would be my choice, because although none of the ballistics will make or break the shotgun, because all of them have increased recoil as part of their perk set, Linear Compensator makes it more predictable. So logistically speaking, if you're going to have to deal with recoil in general, you might as well make it predictable to make it easily encounterable as you continually use the weapon and become more habitual response to the recoil. Easier that way. When breaking down the skill tree, as I mentioned earlier, the first perk is called the Roadborne, and it's the key to the weapon. Or precision kills grant bonus handling, range, and precision damage for a short time. As it suggests, it works amazingly in situations with many enemies in PvE like trash mobs, but what makes it extremely interesting in PvP is that it can be activated through, well, in both primary PvE and PvP, but this is exclusive more for PvP, and what makes it interesting is it can be activated through primary and machine gun heavy use, and then when you switch back to the Chaperone, it can be utilized this way. So if you're sniping heads with a scout rifle in PvP, when you activate the Roadborne, you can switch back to the Chaperone, and then you still have that range buff, and the range buff is it's considerate with that Roadborne active. The next three perks which you'll have a choice over are Single Point Sling, which allows you to switch weapons faster and move faster while aiming. Snapshot, which dramatically increases aim down sight speed. Both of these are quite good for PvP. And Field Scout, which increases the magazine size from 4 to 5. I feel like Snapshot or Single Point Sling, like I said, are best in PvP and probably better overall than increases the magazine size by 1 round, but it's your call. Some people value that the most. I don't really. The last perk, called Survivor, synergizes with Roadborne. 3 rapid precision kills while Roadborne is active return 2 to the magazine, and this will proc quite frequently in trash mob scenarios in PvE, but you won't have this happen many times in PvP, I assure you. But it can come in handy there too if you can manage to proc it quite frequently. With regard to my overall impressions in PvE, the perk set as I've geared to is dealing with many trash enemies in PvE. It does very hard per shot damage on majors and other enemies, and at a slightly further range than many other shotguns would, but I'm not quite sure I'm willing to justify using it over the conventional pellet type shotguns because it uses an exotic slot that I can put to something like Red Death, especially in the raids. It's a ton of fun to use, but it's not necessarily the best shotgun or weapon to use against single higher tier enemies because many of the perks just wouldn't proc very frequently or be useful. It's much better against trash mobs because the perks are suited for it. In PvE, it isn't very often that right after getting a headshot triggering Roadborne that you're going to follow that up with another 3 headshots without dying in the process unless you're facing really bad enemies. Additionally, you're only going to be getting 2 bullets back for this feat. Having said that, Roadborne can be used and triggered on primary and heavy kills, so for that short duration that Roadborne is active based on activating it from those other 2 weapons, you get an obscene amount of range on this shotgun. Additionally, the great set of middle tier perks like Snapshot and Single Point Sling, as well as the agility boost that the main perk of the weapon offers, can make you a versatile weapon in the Crucible. Like I said though, it can be an extremely strong weapon to use in the Crucible in the right hands, but you have to hit a headshot to get the kill. It has a good fire rate as well, so you can follow it up like if you hit a body shot, the good fire rate allows you to follow up to get the kill. But if you're engaging someone with, say, a Fell Winter's Lie, which has disturbing range already, if you don't kill the guy immediately, you're probably in serious trouble. So overall, it can be extremely good in the right hands in PvP, and it can be quite good with dealing with trash mobs in PvE, but you might end up better off using a legendary slot and then, say, equipping an exotic sword instead. That's up to you. If you can proc Roadborne quite frequently, I think you're going to slaughter everyone, but if you can manage to do that, that would be your plus. See you later.